Oh, it's just great that the numbers are building up again to what they once were many, many, many years ago.
Oh, very, very much a curious animal, and not afraid of people. They've got a big ego.
Oh, they're very clever.
The key points that I tell visitors when they ask what's the difference between a fur seal and a sea lion. Number one, fur seals are smaller. Sea lions, once they're at least a year old, they're usually about the size or bigger than a Labrador. Fur seals have a really pointed nose.
Well, like a dog's snout, whereas a sea lion is quite flat.
And then also, New Zealand sea lions aren't seen regularly further north than Dunedin.
They're an vulnerable threatened species. They were a few years ago considered a nationally critically threatened species. Years ago, a female arrived up here from the Auckland Islands and decided to stay. So pretty much been tagging of Mum's family tree since 1999, when there was sort of like one pup. Got those flippers under control there. Yep, cool. They get the power from their flippers, so we have those flippers sort of by their sides. So far we've tagged 21 pups. I want to do this right flipper first. We're expecting another 4 to maybe 7. The last highest number of pups was 21. So we're already over the record number of pups for Otago Peninsula. Now they're tagged, we'll be able to sort of match them up with their mothers. The key to the creche at Hooper's Inlet is that it's a good distance from the coast and it's geographically enclosed. So the mother feels safe because she's gone a long way from where the male sea lions, and certainly the big male sea lions, are going to be. It's a cruel twist of nature that they come into estrus about a week after giving birth to a pup. So the males aren't really interested in the pups, they're interested in the female sea lion. The mothers will take them to a safe place where they can just be left to swim and explore and play with other sea lion pups while Mum gets on with the important business of going and foraging and finding food.
There's a sea lion pup in here somewhere, hiding around. This one's been wandering around by itself for a while, so Mum could be out foraging at the moment.
There's certainly a curious animal. You would have heard curiosity kills the cat. Well, a lot of our species, they did get killed by being too interested in people.
Numbers dropped hugely, particularly after the moa went extinct. But bones were really popular as well, particularly the jawbone, the mandible, for making fish hooks.
They're rough and humble animals.
You are feisty.
Girls often are.
They get far worse than we give them from the sub-adult male sea lions.
The needle is inserting a transponder or microchip, exactly the same as what would be used in a cat or a dog.
Yeah. Who's head holding next?
Martin.
You will have seen how after we tag them, the pups stay around and sort of look and think. It's not in their interest to run. It's like with a dog. If you run, they'll chase.
Is there any record of them hurting humans?
No, most people get hurt because they get a fright and they fall backwards and break their wrist. They're completely maligned, and you get lots of calls. Oh, this is aggressive sea lion. And well, no, that's just what they do. They do a bluff charge, and if you stand the ground, they're not going to hurt you. They'll probably stop and sniff you, but well, that's 99% of the time. So we don't advise that you get that close. They've learned, if you're in a situation like this, you bide your time, you think about it. When it gets the chance, he'll be off.
Our coastal habitats are sea lion coastal habitats. Yeah, that's end of story. So any human activity potentially could have a sea lion turn up in the middle of it. diver Otago tells us stories. A sea lion will come in and work out who the instructor is and take over the students. They're my students now. What are you going to do about it? So this is the level of strategy that we're talking about. They're quite mobile on land. They could be anywhere in the city. So we have to educate ourselves, understand sea lion, sort of adapt our behaviour to give them the space that they need. If we don't give them anything to engage with, they'll move on again.